online doubts? Yes, Kishore. With whom
Hello.
you want to chat every day?
Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
sure.
Yeah, yes. My doubt is regarding notes. So admin has provided the drive.
Every day we enable the chat room for messaging. I never saw a message from you.
Sir, I dropped the message yesterday only.
Uh,
I dropped the message yesterday
every
only.
day after class, at the end of session, we check doubts with people who raise their hand. I never saw you raising hand and asking any doubt. You regularly attend the class.
Yes, sir.
Then you are regularly raising hand and we are not
No, sir. No,
responding
sir.
to you.
Yesterday only. Yesterday only I raised the hand, but immediately the meeting got over.
So you should tell the admin people that every day I'm not raising, only yesterday, that is the problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every day you are raising hand and nobody is responding to you,
No, sir. I didn't say anything like this.
because the admin people has sent me a message saying that we are not responding to the people in the
No,
who
sir.
raised out. So that
I
is
was
the reason.
talking only about yesterday.
So every day you don't have any doubt. Only one day you missed it. Huh?
Yeah, I was not complaining. I just told her.
Because they sent me that as a complaint that
No, sir. So,
uh,
if it's like that, I'm so
night.
sorry, but
So
I
what
didn't
is
mean
your
that.
doubt?
Sir, actually, the notes is about regarding the notes. So, admin has provided me the drive link, but could you please share me the classroom link because
There is no
uh,
classroom link, only drive link. That is the reason I asked you, are you attending regularly class?
yeah, yes, sir.
Every day we send only notes in drive link from past 1.5 months.
Yeah,
So,
yes, sir,
uh,
I know.
uh,
I'm not complaining actually. I'm just like the drive notes. First, we have to align that misalignment is there now, so we have to align that first, and then we have to read. So
uh,
I was just asking if there
everybody
is,
using the same, you have to use the same.
if it's
There
like
is no
that, then
separate
no problem.
classroom group, only drive link, it is there. Okay.
Ah,
Uh,
okay.
you need to prepare the notes while learning. Here, offline people write notes in book, you know.
Yes, sir.
Uh, so better, I told you in the beginning of class, keep an habit of that. Okay.
Okay.
Anything else? Only
Uh,
related to this you have done?
yeah, yes, sir.
No, nothing. Other than that,
No, sir. Thank you.
okay. Yes, online people, anybody have any more doubts? Any issues? It is audible clearly. Once check your side. Any issues are there? Yes, you check your side if any issues are there. It is fine. Audio is okay. Yeah. Anyone else online people, any doubts are there? Okay. Yes. Swati, what is your doubt?
Yeah, hi, sir. Good evening.
Good evening.
Sir, Sir, if possible, could you please explain that default route, sir? You have to give, sure, you were telling about that asterisk symbol.
Which
Um,
one? Default?
Default route, sir. Like we need to use
Default
that
route. That
asterisk,
means if you
asterisk,
are
something, asterisk symbol we need to use. Like,
asterisk means if user requested something and it is not found in our routes list, then it is going to serve what is defined in route list. Understood? If user requested something and it is not there in our routes list, then it is going to return usually what error it will return. Yes, Swati, what error it will return?
route not found, something like that, sir.
So instead of showing that, if you want to send your own message, that you do by using asterisk.
Okay, actually, I have not tried it, sir. Like,
But
I can.
we have an example in the classroom check once.
Okay, okay, sir. Fine,
In the
definitely.
routes, we mentioned that default means if you are not requesting anything, by default, what is there, it will come. What you mentioned in default. And you requested something and it is not there, then it is going to return what is defined in asterisk. Okay.
Suppose, sir, if the route name is by default in the browser, I'll try to enter the route, something like
If you
locomotive.
entered wrong, then whatever you mentioned inside asterisk, it will be delivered to you.
Okay, it will directly navigate to that
It
component.
will navigate to that.
Okay, under sir, path is equals to asterisk, I will mention, and element, I will write some default component. So
If you
that
write
will
any
navigate.
element name, that
Okay,
element it will deliver, or you can put any hard coded markup message also.
okay, that will be rendered, right,
That
sir?
will be rendered.
Sir, in real time, are they going to follow these kind of patterns, sir, like
Of
default?
course, why don't they follow? I showed an example of Amazon if you have observed in class. In you can see the screen. So when you open Amazon and when you search for anything in the URL like what mobiles, it is going to return mobiles. And this is mobiles data. And you are typing something like television and it is not in the route, it will show some message. If it is there, it will show. And slash TV, and it will show those TVs. Some else we have some Apple. It is going to show Apple. Any message it is not there. Suppose fossil something, it is going to show them. Any specific path you entered and it is not there, it shows like this. That means this is the message returned when anything is not found. I hope you are clear.
Yes, sir, got it. Sir,
Uh,
another thing, sir, you are explaining about the JSON server, right?
uh,
Sir, this is only for, practice purpose or in real time,
in
are we,
real time, usually you have backend database and API, na?
yes, sir.
Uh,
Are we going to implement using JSON server, sir?
why you will implement in JSON server? Tell me your real time scenario.
No,
What
sir.
application you
Actually,
are
I,
developing?
I got to know regarding this JSON server in your class. Actually, I'm not aware of it. So,
JSON server is a local server which you can use for various authentications also.
in real time also, right, sir?
In real time also they use JSON servers
Okay.
to design any local databases. If they don't have any database to store locally anything, they can use JSON servers. Why do you think they given a JSON server without using in real time?
Even though I use Node.js, suppose sir, my backend is a Node.js, even though I'm using Node.js for the backend,
If you are
there are
using
chances,
Node.js, you will have Node API, Express APIs, database in MongoDB or MySQL.
like if possible, if there is a requirement, even then we can use this JSON server at the client
Why
side.
can't we use, we
Okay.
can use any JSON server, it is stored locally, na?
Yes, sir.
Uh,
But
we
we
can
have the database.
hmm?
Uh,
See,
we have.
everything is not on internet. There are so many other private networks also used for developing an app, and several apps run not only on internet. I
Okay.
hope you know that, right?
Yes.
So
And
many apps will not run on just only web servers. They run on file servers also. I hope you know, right?
sir, another thing, sir, I have implemented the project, real-time project, and we have used only the arrow functions in it instead of the normal function.
Hmm.
Like when the ECMA 6,
Of course, I already showed you in the beginning itself that in
when
JavaScript
arrow,
modern everywhere we use
sir, actually
arrows.
my,
Are all arrows problem is it is expression. Will it support hoisting? Arrow is a function expression, huh? It is not a function declaration. I hope you know in JavaScript, right? I hope you are aware of that.
yes, sir, yes, sir.
Expressions will not allow hoisting. You know that.
Hmm. Yes,
Uh,
yes.
uh,
Uh,
so wherever you need any function through hoisting mechanism to access, then you cannot declare with arrows, right?
yeah, okay.
Mm. If you are using arrows, then you have to always declare. After declaring only you have to use, right?
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Actually, I've used it, sir, before declaration, maybe.
It's not possible.
That
That
is
is
the
possible only with declaration, not with arrow. Huh?
okay. So hoisting will support only with the normal function, not with the arrow function.
So hoisting is not supported for expressions, right?
Okay. Okay, sir.
And arrow is an expression. No?
So if side, that is a reason, sir. It's better to choose the normal function instead of arrow
Not
function.
every time, because sometimes we want an order of execution,
Okay.
right? We want an order of execution. We don't want anything to be invoked before it is defined, right? Because
Yes.
some components will have declaration, some components will use them. We don't declare and use in the same place, then issue will come, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. In such case, we use arrows. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got it. Thank you. Sir, another concern, sir. Please enable the chat, sir. Like when class is going on.
Chat is always enabled to chat with the host.
Okay. Okay.
Chat is disabled always with others, right? From
Okay.
the beginning of our session, from past 1.5 months, chat is enabled to chat with the host, not with others in the chat box in the
Okay.
meeting. Okay.
Fine, sir. Sir, I
You can
request.
send message anywhere, anytime here. And at the end of session, we take doubts every day.
Yeah, I shared, sir, a few times in the chat the questions, but I couldn't get any
Uh-huh.
response.
So
So if
you,
possible,
you
please.
can you can raise your hand at the end of session. Usually people do.
Okay, sir. Okay,
Okay.
fine. Fine, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes. Anyone else? Who is this? Shankar. Yes, you can unmute. Shankar, what is your doubt? Yes, Shankar.
Hi, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, you explained how to configure the routes in the component level, right? But
Huh?
I want to know how to configure the routes in the object format and
What is
how
object
to,
format?
sir, we can create the one object in that object. We can configure the all the routes in key value pair, and that
Hmm.
object we need to import in the component in app.js or index.js
Why you need that?
global. Nothing like that. In some of the projects are working, may configure
I
routes
already
in
told you
the,
now. We will learn all of them, right?
but okay. So that's why, sir.
You want
Some,
immediate? You can wait na little bit.
okay, sir. No
Uh,
issues. I can wait.
uh, we are learning level by level. Na?
Sure, sir.
right?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay, so after understanding this, you done, you practiced everything, example. Yeah. Yeah. Right. So now you finished the entire to-do application. Everyone tried the to-do application. Right. So after handling all the features of to-do application, now I told you yesterday about component life cycle. Right. In component life cycle, what are the phases will happen in component life cycle? So component life cycle, we discussed about what is it? Component creation, component mount, and component have unmount. These phases we discuss. Update, right? Component mount, update, and unmount. Okay. So what are the activities performed on different phases also we discussed. So different phases, what are the activities performed we learned. Now in this, when events are registered, when events are registered on a mount phase. And when they unregister, unmount, when they trigger on update phase, right? So I given some points about when data or style binding will work, when state and others are initialized, right? These are the key points. Once you know the cycle, how the component life cycle works, now what we are working on the concept of to do application and how to make it better in production level, how we can manage for the production level. So as I told you, for that first you should know the cycle of components, then we can put some implementations in that. So what are those implementations? Let's see. For example, let's say here first important is at production level, what are the key points? So lazy, and suspense, features. So lazy and suspense features. That is one important thing you need to implement while working with the applications in real time. So what are lazy and suspense features? First, few points you learn directly and few others you will use with the component function hooks. We will see them. Actually, what is lazy loading, eager loading. These are two important in any object oriented approach. And lazy loading means it is loaded only when it is needed. Eager loading means it is loaded and kept ready even when you are not using it. You are using it. So always you implement lazy loading so that it will be lightweight and faster for application, so that it loads only what is necessary. That is the first basic thing. Actually, so what is the concept of lazy loading is lazy loading. So lazy loading is the mechanism of loading only the content required for situation. Lazy loading is the mechanism of loading only the content required for situation. So React loads all JavaScript modules. It loads all JavaScript modules as bundle at the time of initializing application. At the time of initializing application. So it is heavy on application. You can enable lazy loading so that it loads only the chunk of code, you can say chunk of JS bundle that is required for situation. You can say request that is required for request. So what is the lazy feature? How we can use this? So how to define this? So here we have two important options. React provides lazy and suspense. So it provides lazy and suspense components for importing library. Lazy and suspense components for importing library. What is suspense is? Suspense is nothing but suspense is the state after request and before load. After request and before load, that is the state called suspense. That means suspense is nothing but it is loading. You made a request and still you are not getting the result. That means it is in which mode? Suspense mode. Suspense mode means between request to response. What to do? Right. So that is usually done by using lazy and suspense features. So how do we implement that? How we define and configure this? Let's see. For example, so here I will show you. This is eager loading. Loading. Eager loading we already doing every day. What we do, we import any component. So from here we have to define the path. This is what eager loading is. How lazy loading is defined? Lazy loading is configured. So we have to first import. So we need to import. So lazy. We have to import lazy. So from React, you have to import lazy from React. After importing lazy from React, we have to configure any component name is equal to lazy, and it uses a callback function. This callback function is going to return an import method which will import the path, and it will keep it. That's how we import any component. All these days, how you are importing? You are importing the component directly by using an import statement. So what it does at the time of starting the application, it will load all the library. But we want to load only when it is required. When it is required, then what we have to do? We need to configure as what? Lazy. And when you define lazy, once you request it, it will start loading it. And this stage of request and loading complete, this stage is called as suspense. So if any component is loading lazy, then it will obviously have a suspense. So we have to write like this. That means we need to put a suspense component. We have to suspense component, put a suspense component with a fallback. This fallback will put a message loading some, please wait, something like this. We can put a message. And here we need to define the component that you want to load. You can use the component that you want here. So that is suspense. So if the component is taking time, then it is going to display that message loading, please wait, it will. This is lazy loading and suspense features in loading the component. So let's see, anywhere you can use, you can implement in routes everywhere. I'll just give one example. You have to try everywhere. So what is that? See, we will open our project here, and this is our project. Yeah. Let's run this application npm run API. Another one is npm run dev. So here, this is the option. Okay. Now I will right click here and inspect. Okay. In the inspect, because you already saw how we designed this screen. You already saw how we designed this screen. Can you tell me? So this screen loads how many? Currently, it is using how many components? This screen is using how many components? One is index component. Another one is home component 2, login component, register component 4. Am I right? But after register, it will go to login. After login, it will go to dashboard. Am I right? No. In dashboard, again, you have add, edit, update, delete, right? So let's do here one thing. Go to the network category. In the network category, keep the network category open and you make a request for this app. I will load this one, refresh, and it is loading. And see in the network, it is loading all the contents here. Let's expand little bit. Yeah. You see, it is loading all these contents here. It is loading all the content. Let's little bit zoom. Okay. I will zoom out. Okay. You can see here in the components list, all components are loaded. And okay, let's see only our to do also. To do home, to do login, to do register, to do dashboard. Am I right? Why you need dashboard, add, delete, edit details until or unless you don't use them? Loading all of them and keeping them ready is heavy on application. So this is eager loading. Okay, can we load the dashboard only when dashboard is visited? Yes, that's what we need to implement. So how do we do this? For this, first important point is if you want to configure any component as lazy, one basic rule is there. What is that rule is? Make sure that the component is component loaded, the component loaded as a component loaded with lazy technique is a default component. This is very important. Is a default component. The component loaded with lazy technique is a default component. You have to make sure that. So the component loaded with lazy technique is a default component. That means it should be marked, you know already, default modules. Huh? You already know what is a default module, how it is configured and used, aliasings and all. Na? Okay, let's do some change in this now. What is the change is, for example, this is to do dashboard. Na? Okay, so we have a to do dashboard and it is in the routes. This is in the route. We have a to do dashboard. Actually, dashboard is visited after login. It is not visited until login. So actually you can write for all of them. I will write only for one and I will show. Okay. You write for others. That is your job to do. Okay. I will remove to do dashboard. Okay. Go to do dashboard and make sure that it is what marked as default. Come to your index. Here you import at the top, you import what you have to import lazy. From React, you have to import. Make sure that it is always top because by any mistake, if you imported anything out above it, it will not work because it says that you are importing before you are initializing. That's better always keep at the top. Now here we create a constant and what is it? To do dashboard is equal to what it should use lazy. In the lazy, it will use a callback. This callback will return which one? Import. And what is the path? The path is dot slash. What is it? To do dashboard. This is the lazy loading technique. And of course, this dashboard to do is used in the same way here. Na? There is no problem in that. Now, these routes that you are loading, make sure that these routes are kept inside suspense component. In the suspense component, you have to keep all these routes. The routes which are loaded as lazy, make sure that all those routes are configured inside suspense. And one more thing, what you have to do, this suspense will have a fallback, and fallback will have a message. It is nothing but loading component, please wait. Like this. You will not see this regularly because for that you need to set intervals. Huh? Because later if it is coming from any API server, it is taking time, you will see. Because currently it is in local server, it will be fast. You use timeout and delay by some time, then it is fine. It will load and it will show that. Initially, now it is okay. Let's go now to the design. Here we will refresh in the network area. You can see, observe carefully here, the to-do related components are present. So where, yeah, to-do related components are present here. Dashboard is not there now. Have you observed? That means it is not having a to-do dashboard in the list because it is lazy. Na? That means it will load only when it is needed because you configured as load lazy. Now let's log in. I am logging in with user details David NIT David at the net 123. Okay, and click on login. Now the dashboard is requested. Then you can see at the down the dashboard will come. You can see to do dashboard is loaded now. That means it is going to show the to do dashboard now. That means the component is loaded only when it is required. This will improve the performance. And all the components you need to configure as lazy. All the components you need to configure as lazy. That is the reason in several occasions in real world projects, you will see people using a default export, right? So we have used without default, but if you have observed, when you created a React application, it created a app component. Of course, that app component was designed as a function declaration, but it is exported as default now, right? Why? Because that is mandatory for any component which is imported as lazy. Lazy. So lazy is very important, and in real world we majority use lazy. Not only here, everywhere. In every example, wherever you have imported some component, you used it. I showed you context. I showed you about controlled and uncontrolled components. Everywhere when you are importing, always use lazy. Lazy and suspense features are important. So this is very important. So the component is configured as default. You know already how we do that. So export default function and component like this. Export function, and if you define component, so this cannot load lazy. That cannot load lazy. Can load lazy. These are 2 points. Right. So that is one important option, how we configure. So this is the lazy and suspense features in one importing of module. This you should implement everywhere, and actually I done this in the route path. Just roughly I will give. So we have a to do index index.js. Roughly I'm giving you this. Anyhow, I will today push these updates into the git one. Okay. I haven't pushed the update into git yesterday because some more changes we need to do today. I will update them today. Okay. Now this is how we configure the simple point. Anyhow, the complete change is there in to do dashboard, and it is there in the to do index. This is one concept of lazy, right? Now, what is the next part is what are the other features that are required for making our application perfect, means as production ready. We need to use lot of hooks properly. Some hooks we never used, some hooks we have to use. So then it will become more little better. Several concepts we need to implement here. So what are those? Let's see. That means you need to learn some hooks additionally to make the performance better and to make this to do application production ready. So you are going to learn one more concept here today, that is about React hooks, where which hook fits correctly, where which one we have to use to make it as a real world application with production ready environment, we will see. So all these days we just used the hooks. So because we need them. So because we need these hooks, so we are using those hooks. We are using those hooks. But now we need to know more detail about the concept. So actually why we used use effect? Use effect is used for mounting, but it is used for unmounting also. We never used that. That means we know only one phase of it, right? And in interviews, so many questions will come. We'll see that. Some we already know, majority. First point, what is a hook? So we learned that it is a function, but actually, technically, how you define hook? What is hooks? Actually, hook is a service. Hook is a service of React. It is a service of React. Hook is a service of React. It is a service of React. So what is this service means? That means in real world applications, libraries, what is the concept of a service? What is concept of a service? So let's see one point here. Actually, how the concept works. For example, we are having, generally we have an application. We have an application. And in this application, this is your React application. You are building one app. In this application, we want to design several functionalities. If you want to design several functionalities, you don't need to design everything. You don't need to write everything. So you don't need to write and design everything. Generally, what happens is, I will tell you the basic hierarchy here. usually what happens? What is the concept is, see, generally a library, actually we have some values and functions. That means library is a set of values and functions. React is a library. Na? React is a framework or library? Library. It is a library. So a library is a set of values and functions. Some values or functions are present, predefined. You just use them and build your app so that you don't need to write much. What is the problem here is, generally we don't use these values directly in any application. That means in any application, we don't use these directly. That means directly we don't prefer using them. We don't use these libraries directly. Actually, we can use a library of values and functions directly in our project, and we can build the functionality. Suppose I want to build a EMI calculator. We done that. And what we have done, math functions, number functions, string conversion functions, we used some functions. So why you used those functions? Because they are already built in and they have a certain functionality, just use them. So we cannot use the functions directly. We don't use the functions directly because reusability, maintainability issues will come. Then generally what we do is, these values and functions, that means we have some set of values and functions. These values and functions, what we do is, we keep these values and functions in a factory. These values and functions are kept in a factory. They are kept in a factory. The values and functions are kept in one factory. Factory is a collection of values and functions. Some related type of values and functions are kept in one factory. Suppose in your JavaScript, you have a string factory, array factory, math factory, number factory. What string factory have? String factory have all string formatting, string manipulation methods. No? Date factory have date methods. That means a factory is a collection of values and functions. And remember, these factory also, this factory contains collection of values and functions. We don't prefer using it directly. We don't prefer using it directly. Why we don't prefer using it directly in our application? Because what is problem is, the factories use, generally the factories use a mechanism called single call. Factory uses single call mechanism. Single call mechanism means you want a function. Then what you have to do? You have to create one object. Through that object, you have to access the function. You want the function again, then you have to create another object. That means you want to use a function 10 times in 10 locations. You need 10 objects. Every time an object is created, and through that object, that function is provided. This mechanism is called single call. That's not great. That is not good, but it is used in some occasions. It is not required every time. That's not great. That's the reason what we do is, we keep a set of factories, a collection of factories are kept in, a set of factories are kept in a service. A set of factories are kept in a service. That means a service is a collection of factories, and factory is a collection of functions and values. So we keep all these inside a service. Usually, uh, suppose we have a service. Yeah, roughly, I am just adding the service here. Okay, just put some object, right? That means we have different services. We are adding some service symbols. Okay, basic we will use. Okay, this is one service. We have some services. So different services are available. So this is one service. This is another service. For different purpose, different services are present. Just I give a different colors and all. That means for different purpose, we have different services. We have different services available. Now what we want is, we want to use these services in our project. What is the specialty about services? This service also we don't directly use. What is specialty about service is, the specialty about service use a mechanism called singleton. They use a mechanism called singleton. What is singleton mechanism? Singleton means an object is created for the first request and the same object is used for others. That means an object is not created for every request. An object is created for the first request. You know, singleton in OOP languages, an object, only one object can be created for a class. That is singleton mechanism. And service uses singleton mechanism. Now, actually, we don't use the service also directly in our React or Angular or any technologies. What we do is, generally in our application, we create here, what we are doing is, we are creating a component. We are creating a component. Am I right? We are creating a component. Into the component, we are injecting the service. We are injecting the service. That means which service is needed for your situation, that service is added. Which service is required, that service is added. Understood? That means which service is required, that service is added. Only those services are added into your component, and generally what you do, you use this component and you build the app. You use the component, you build the app. That means you are building the app. Right? Now what is, see, this is general awareness of any library in any technology. This is how actually libraries work. That's a basic thing. Actually, you know, your generation is using components. Our generation built them. That means we are training here people on technologies before Angular, React like technologies were born. Do you know, for 18, 20 years back when we are training, because even my videos are available, check once on YouTube in Naresh IT website, and blogs are there. 20 years back, we used to train people on technologies like Knockout.js, Ember.js. Before, I'm talking about before these Angular and all these born. And at that time, our generation of development has to work through this architecture. Means we need to build factories, we need to build the services, and we need to use them as a library to build one single page application. Single page application was there at that time also, right? Because generally at that time we used to train people on this process, means how to build factories, how to build services. But now your generation is not building them, your generation is just using them. And in real world projects also, you are not given any opportunity to do that. So your expert team will be there, experienced team will be there, which is going to build all the services for you. And what is your job? You have to just import those services and use them. Use them. That's the reason current generation of learners of technology, they don't know the hierarchies. but this is how we build earlier. Now, what is your advantage? You are learning from here. Just component, plugin, and build one app. And what is this use effect, use state, use cookies, use formic? These are all built-in services. That means how formic is collecting the data from form. That means they already written the logic. They already written the logic. They already written the logic, right? That means actually this hierarchy is there in some old. I I stopped that blog so many years back. So I used to have a blog. This is so many years back. So here somewhere you have that Angular related also in 2014, 2013, 2011. You can see, you check here somewhere. I have a complete about Angular JS. At that time, React was not born. We don't have React. Somewhere it is there. You check them. Angular is there. Yeah. Achha, it is projects. Some document also is there. This is a very old one. And you can see in the document, some video is there. It is available with all the hierarchy, how to build a library. That means how we build the libraries and use for our applications. That process is there. These days, nobody need to learn about that. We don't need that. You just need to know the concept. That is enough. But at experience level, we build library for you and give it to you. And what you do, you build an app with that library. We build services for you. You just use them. For example, if anybody asks like, okay, you are designing a login screen or a registration form. Now, what is the problem in this login and registration form is the login and registration form problem is nothing but a robot can use your form. How to prevent robot? How to prevent robot? Capture. Am I right? So what is capture? Capture is a service. It is an artificial intelligence service which will verify whether the user is a human or robot according to his keystrokes and mouse movements. And if it is a robot, it will not allow to log in. And to prevent robots, what is the full form of CAPTCHA? You know, completely automated public tuning test to tell computers and humans apart. That is the full form of CAPTCHA. And what is the point about CAPTCHA? If anybody asked you like, can you write code for CAPTCHA? That's a wrong question. CAPTCHA is not a code to write. CAPTCHA is a service to implement. We can write, but it is so much time waste process. For example, you are using any website. They say that you register, then you can use our website. You don't want to register. Then what alternative they will give? You don't want to register, but you want to use their website. So what alternative they will give? They will give that, so okay, don't register, use your Gmail to log in. What is that called as? What is that service called as? You can use Gmail account to log in or some Facebook account to log in into other websites. So what is that service known as? That service is called as OpenID. We call that service as OpenID. That means in real time development, they will ask that, okay, you are designing a screen, put some OpenID service in this. OpenID means he will not register in our website. He will use the Google login. And for that, you need permission of Google and all. You need to go to Google, get the service. You need to inject, for example, CAPTCHA means, see, we have Google reCAPTCHA. Google reCAPTCHA, and you can see this is Google reCAPTCHA. And what this reCAPTCHA says, it says that so it is a free service that protects your site from spam and abuse. It is a free service. Am I right? What is meant by service? That means it is already written, predefined. You just import and use it. And how you do, for example, you want a captcha service for Java. You search for Java. So Java captcha service. That means you see Java JSP. It will show you how to use it for Java. You have to download the library. You have to use. Suppose you say JavaScript, it will give for JavaScript. You have to download the library and you have to follow the steps and you need to define. That means it's not a code to write. It is a service to implement. So technically, what is hook? Use state, use effect, use cookies, use formic. These are all services. Means how a state is storing your data, collecting data, showing the data, already they're written. You are not writing anything, you are just using it. That's the reason if you observed, their name is use state. That means you use it. We already designed. Right? So technically, what is hook? It is a service. And what is a service? Service is a predefined business logic. Service is a predefined business logic. Service is a predefined business logic used to implement and customize any functionality in application. Service is a predefined functionality used to implement and customize any functionality in application. What is advantage is it enables features like reusability, extensibility, maintainability, and testability. Testability. All these are important features. Right. So that is the point. So now what is the key concept is React has several predefined services and allows to create custom services. It has several predefined services and allows to create custom services, which are very important. Because in our dashboard, if you see, dashboard is having a filtering, sorting, searching, am I right? And such filtering, searching, sorting is required in regular different data. That means not only in dashboard, in different data, we need to do this. In that case, we need to create one reusable filter. We need to create one reusable sorting functions so that they can sort your data, filter your data, and you can use on any data. Then we design our own hooks. That means you have built-in hooks and you can create your own hooks. Use effect, use state, and all these are what built-in hooks. Actually, what is use formic? It is a custom hook. It is developed by whom? Not by React. It is developed by formic, right? That means they are all their own hooks. You can create your own hook. You can define your own functionality, right? So what is the main point here is service is used in any component you with DI mechanism, DI, which is dependency injection. It uses a mechanism called DI, dependency injection. So service comprises of consumer, provider, and the subscriber. So service have subscriber, consumer, provider, subscriber, like this. So many are present. Service consumer, service provider. So service have a injector, etc. All these are present actually. So consumer uses the service. Provider is responsible for locating the service, locating and injecting the service into components. So we have a service provider and service injector. Right. That is consumer and provider end. Now, first, what we will do is, first we will learn how to create custom hooks. How do we create custom hooks? How do we use custom hooks? We will see. What are the rules about these hooks? Means we can create our own hooks and we can implement them. And these hooks are required for different functionalities in our app here in to do where we can use. We'll see. That we'll see in tomorrow's session. Okay. Today this is enough. Tomorrow we will check all the hooks concept. What's new? What are the new hooks available? What we already learned and where to use them exactly in our application. We will see that. So then we will have a perfect idea of making it production ready. Okay. Right. Tomorrow we'll see.